Batteries to Hey, we are live. Hey, folks, thanks for joining us on the BAMF podcast, our semi-weekly, we're just called the Pull List Show, but like only half of us are reading comics regularly, so we're just going to call it the Pick of the Week, irregular, occasional weekly show. And with me today, we got a bunch of people. There's Jason Towndrow, Dr. Comics. How you doing, Jason?
I'm great, thanks.
The second professor on our show today is Christopher McLaughlin, right next to him in our virtual studio. How you doing, Chris?
I just got up. That's a great thing on any day.
Sweet. You guys snowed in down there?
Well, we had like the day that like teachers and students joke about. We got like roughly an inch of snow, and almost all of it fell at the moment that they had to make the go to school, not go to school call. Yeah. And it's like within like a half hour of the call going out that schools was closed, it stopped and it had all melted by noon. Nice. And that was Thursday, right? So but on Friday there's like barely any snow even in the grass left. But since it was -9 with the wind chill at our normal school start time, we technically got a 4-day weekend. So we had one school day this week. We went Wednesday and that was it.
Oh, that's not bad.
That's right, pretty sweet.
Welcome, Chris. And sitting next to Chris is Walt Rebouillard. How you doing, Walt?
And we had 1.5 feet of snow, so yeah, right on.
That's the difference between being in New England and being in Virginia, I guess.
Yeah, and I'm in Georgia, where I had no snow, and it still closed everything because it's Georgia.
I hear it's like that there, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here in Colorado, the snow's all melting. And anyway, the format of this podcast, we keep it short, we keep it fun, we keep it sassy. Everyone has one thing we're going to talk about, and Jason, why don't you go first since you're on my left in the virtual studio?
Sure. Well, I watched Brite, and I know this film has taken a lot of flack from a lot of critics, but I liked it. I thought it was fun. And although everyone's comparing it to Alienation and Shadowrun, and of course that's all true. And by the way, if you have not seen the commercial for Brite, where they name drop both of those things, it's hilarious. They do auditions for Brite 2, and there's orcs, like orcs auditioning for the movie. And they say, yeah, it kind of reminded me of Alienation. And if you guys play Shadowrun, we could play that together. And you could tell that the people at Netflix are in on the joke. But what it really reminded me of was actually the Dredd picture, the Carl Urban Dredd, which is very much a kind of constant run and gun 2-cop buddy movie. Except that one's in a building and this one's in a neighborhood.
Yeah, I can see that.
And it wasn't quite as well done as that, but Will Smith is awfully charming, and I liked what the film was doing. I thought it had a lot of potential, and I wish they would rather do a television series rather than a sequel film, but that's probably all that Will Smith is willing to do as a movie. Anyway, yeah, I liked it, and you should watch it. Like Netflix is totally working with me when it does its. We've just uploaded a movie that you might like. Emails, they were right, and I did.
I don't get those emails. Well, that's cool. Yeah, there's been a lot of talk on my Facebook feed lately about hey, we should do a Brite RPG. I got 3 different people I know who are talking about that right now.
Well, in some ways it appeals to my Arthur Liv stuff too, because what it really reminded me of was D20 Modern. What did they call the Urban Arcana?
I think so. Yeah.
Which I really liked. I thought it was fun, and any excuse to have beholders and mind flayers, hanging out at the deli like downtown, like that. I could go for that. So yeah, it was a fun setting, and you could do a lot with it, and it's very gameable.
Okay, cool. Next in the studio is Chris. Chris, what do you want to talk about today?
Well, I was going to talk about Black Mirror season 4 since I actually saw it, but I'll just say that it's great. I actually thought about something new I could talk about.
Okay.
I braved the -5 wind chill to go to my local Alamo Draft House last night to catch the new 4K transfer of George Romero's seminal masterpiece, Night of the Living Dead. And it was an incredible cinematic experience with a film that I've seen. I've literally lost count of the number of times I've seen that film. And it was just incredible. I mean, just an amazing, amazing job. And if you have a chance to see it in the theater, apparently it's making the rounds of better theaters. In fact, if any theater showing this, you should give all your business to. But yeah, but if it's coming to your area, go see it. Even if you've seen Night of the Living Dead a million times like I have, it's you will appreciate it in ways that you haven't before, being able to finally see a really, really, really good print of it. And great thanks to the people at Alamo for showing it, and the Museum of Modern Art and the George Lucas Trust for putting up the bucks to restore it. It looks fabulous.
Now, every time I want to hate George Lucas, he does something cool like that.
Oh, well, I don't hate George as much as I do. I'm not as emotionally invested in the thing that he's best known for, and I try to appreciate the other things that he's done.
I'm really jealous of the Alamo in your area, because when they did a black and white screening of Logan, that was exclusive to Alamos, and I couldn't see it because the nearest one was 3 states away.
Oh, well, it's my understanding that the next one is in Raleigh, so they're getting closer.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I probably won't mention that by the end of the year, I'm going to have my second one within 30 minutes drive.
Nice.
Yes, indeed. Very.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Hey, so Walt, moving on to you. What's your one cool thing this week?
Speaking of Logan, I've been using Marvel Unlimited for a really, really, really long time. And one thing I love is when they get a whole bunch of stuff that you can kind of read sequentially, almost like a digital trade. The new Weapon X series has been a lot of fun. It's Logan and Sabretooth, the most dysfunctional family you've ever seen. And my own brothers, when we get together, it's lots of insults, but we know underneath all the layers, I'm sure there's some love there somewhere. The greatest jokes in these things are all when they're just poking fun at each other, and it's like when Logan starts telling Sabretooth about like Tinder and like dating sites, and Sabretooth is like, yeah, well, your profile. And he goes, are you really on these goddamn sites? You are, aren't you? And he's like, oh, no. And, it's really good. But the whole story centers around a program designed to kill off the mutants. And they're stealing mutant powers via DNA transfer and putting them into something kind of interesting. And that's when this whole program says, it's not just mutants causing the problem, it's also superhumans in general. And then that's where the series starts crossing over with the totally awesome Hulk, Amadeus Cho. And it just infuses a lot of fun into what could have been a very bloody, gory. Sorry about the squeaking. TSD getting all weird. He's looking at me like, "What? I'm famous. Shut up." So.
It's okay. That's my wife's favorite part of our podcast. So.
Walt's dog is her favorite part of our podcast?
Yeah. I think if my wife were producing us, the dog would have a segment.
Yeah. I think all of our dogs would be the hosts, and we would...
We'd be the ones squeaking toys in the background.
Right? Yeah. But, I'm waiting for the next couple of issues to hit Unlimited, because it's... it starts bringing in more and more cast as the problem gets bigger and bigger, and I think the inclusion of the totally awesome Hulk is just a fun foil to characters that are normally so dark and dreary. So if you get the chance and you have Marvel Unlimited, or even if you can manage to grab a trade, because I'm pretty sure it's out in trade right now, pick up Weapon X. It's over with the mutant, what is it? Mutant Annihilation, World Mutant Death Destruction, something like that. It's Weapons of Mutant Destruction. That's it. That's the crossover book that they have between the two titles. Pick them up because they're a lot of fun.
Why is everyone always trying to kill all the X-Men? It's like every other X-Men plot I hear of is we're going to kill all the X-Men. We're going to kill all the mutants. Like the last 30 years, it's always. Okay, but you're enjoying it, so it's a fun take on the usual tropes.
Yeah, I mean, once you get the usual trope out of your head and you are more dealing with the character interaction, it's really a lot of fun. It's a good book, especially.
Sounds like it's not taking itself too seriously, which is
no, not at all. They take the idea of Nina Thurman, the character who's Domino. Yep. They take her mercenary lifestyle really to that next level. Lady Deathstrike is in it, and when she teams up with Amadeus Cho, You know, she's just like, okay, so then I can kill him. He's like, no, there's no killing. So then they go on to like talk to another person. She's like, so when we're done with him, he's boring. Can I kill him too? And she's like, no, there's no killing. It's really fun interactions.
Nice.
Cool.
Mike?
Well, I have given Brian Michael Bendis a lot of bad vibes on this show before, and I want to apologize because I'm reading his current. I guess it's a mini series of the Defenders, and they're actually doing the Defenders as the Netflix Defenders. It's still set in the Marvel 616, but it's Daredevil, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones, and Luke Cage, and it's the most fun I've had reading a comic book so far this year.
Really? Even with stuff like Mech Cadet U and all that other stuff?
I haven't read that in 2018. Well,
oh, go back. Whoops.
Mech Cadet U has been great. Sorry, I was trying to be facetious there, but if you haven't checked out Mech Cadet U, it's awesome. But no, it's street level heroes. There's a war to who's going to replace the Kingpin, and it's clever dialogue. It's funny. There's a bit where they have a Deadpool cameo, which is sort of funny because they're like, God damn, who invited Deadpool? Why'd you invite Deadpool? He screws everything up. And it's just reminded me Brian Michael Bendis can write a good comic when he wants to, like Ultimate Spider-Man back, 10, 12 years ago. That was really good. So
is that title really that old?
Ultimate Spider-Man might be older than that, wasn't it?
Oh my God, that's crazy.
We're all old. Well,
it's not the age; it's the mileage.
The mileage.
Yeah. So I'm really enjoying that. So that would be my pick for this week. But as Walt said, my stealth second pick, Mech Cadet U. If you're into giant robots, if you like the writing of Greg Pak, who I think started it off with the totally awesome Hulk series a few years ago, it's great. It's young kids coming of age while fighting monsters and giant robots. I can't say enough good things about it. The art's great.
If I can plug a second real quick. Cam Banks just put out an updated playtest version of Cortex Prime on his Patreon account.
Okay.
Which is to all $5 backers. It's like an 87-page document. It's a complete game, complete with tons of variant rules and options. Representing all of the various versions of Cortex over the years. I mean, everything from the Leverage stuff to Firefly to the Marvel superhero stuff to original classic Cortex, and lots of variations and changes. And it's all been updated and play tested a lot. He's looking for another round of people to go at it. So $5 for a cool game that's about to come out. So
that's not bad at all. Okay, cool. Just I know we talked about this before. Is he going to have a license for third-party content?
That's a very good question, and I have written to him. And as soon as I get an answer, I will tell everyone because I'm very excited about maybe writing something for Cortex Prime. I like this system; it's a fun system, and I've used it for Firefly and a couple of other things. I know you guys played a lot of Marvel with it.
We had I want to say 3 or 4 Marvel games on this very podcast.
And the reason why I like it is because a lot of fans of Fate don't like Fate because it's not mechanical enough. It's a little bit too narrative and not crunchy enough. And I think Cortex tries to hit that sweet spot. Like it's got just enough crunch. So if you want to do like a vehicle design system and stuff like that, it has a lot of those mechanical levers in it. And it's got narrative stuff, but it's also got enough risk of death, which is something that a lot of Fate critics point at. So anyway, it seems like a fun game. And, game systems all have their own kind of nooks and crannies, and they're all useful for different kinds of things. But I'm interested to see what I can do with Cortex.
All right, cool. Put the link in the show notes. So, all right, well, hey, that's our pick of the week. So anything else you want to talk about, guys? Closing thoughts?
Yeah, I just my brain is slowly waking up. If you happen to not live in the area of a quality theater, the good folks at the Criterion Collection are putting out that amazing new Night of the Living Dead transfer on Blu-ray, and it streets on February the 13th. And right now, a popular online retailer that rhymes with Ramazon has it for $18.
Oh, that's good.
Now, Chris, that film is public domain due to a weird technicality of its release.
Yes. And I was amazed. I stayed till the bonfire scene. Oh, spoilers on the 50-year-old movie. It actually has a copyright notice on it. Now, I don't know on what basis you can suddenly copyright this film, because up till now, you haven't been you aren't able to transfer to copyright a movie just because there's a new transfer behind it.
Right.
It's just a new transfer of it. But
what they're trying to do, they're trying to copyright this particular high quality version.
Yeah, now that's never stood up before, as far as I am aware. But there is a copyright notice on this new transfer.
Well, I just asked because I referenced Night of the Living Dead in the Supervillain Handbook and the universe setting.
Well, there's no reason that you can't unless you're as far as I know. But
Yeah.
like I said, now if George Lucas's lawyers are behind it, that may be another thing entirely.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm just speculating.
He's with the Force. Yeah.
I'm just speculating. I mean, as far as I know, that new copyright notice, it's kind of like the honor system, as far as I can tell.
Kind of closing the barn door when the horses have run out.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So help me out here. I'm not a hardcore cinephile, but what about this new restored, enhanced version is really blowing your hair back that much?
It's okay. To not to get too far deep in the weeds, but you measure picture quality by lines of data per inch. Like good old fashioned TV that we were raised on was 480. Regular DVD is 720. Blu-ray is 1080. This new transfer of the film was scanned at 4,000. It's the highest quality. It's ultra high def. If you're familiar with that, as they're slowly rolling that out. So this is an ultra high def print. So I mean, if I remember reading the article correctly, this film is scanned to 80% of the full capacity of human vision.
Now, what they scanned it from is the original film.
Yes.
Like the celluloid.
Yeah. I mean, until technology takes another leap, it's as good as this film is ever possibly going to look. And oh man, it was beautiful.
And as good as any film could possibly look.
Except for modern films, which are just shot in 4K.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, the new all digital stuff they're doing now. But for those of us, a film just doesn't look right unless it's got some film grain. Unless it at least looks like it was a film at some point. Yeah. It's an absolute treasure trove for that. So, like I said, in the close-ups, you can see the characters' pores. And I even noticed a scene toward the end where like somebody accidentally left the sound clapper in the scene. and having seen this film a million times, just noticing little things like that. I was able to read the calendar in the kitchen of the farmhouse. I wasn't quite able to read the meter, the utility meter when we went down to the basement, but I at least gave it a shot.
Nice. Wow. Okay. That's good to know. Cool. All right, buddy. Anything else? Anybody?
We need to produce T-shirts that say Jacoby on the back of them and then Ride or Die on the front. For those Brite fans out there.
That's a Brite reference. For those.
There's so much merchandise we should be making.
It's true.
Yeah. We should go to there's like a million T-shirt sites. We'll do something. All right. Hey, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time on the BAMF podcast.
All right.